Hello, alright, you're listening to the Gritty Bowman, home of gritty bow hunting films, interviews, tall tales, and a wee bit of manly boasting.
I'm South Cox, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowman.
Hey, this is Corey Jacobson, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowman.
We born and raised outdoors, and you've been listening to the Gritty Bowman.
There you go.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Jordan.
And you're watching
The Gritty Bowman.
In today's podcast, we travel to Hoodoo, Oregon for the second leg of the Northwest Mountain Challenge. We meet up with Cody Kellum of Born and Raised Outdoors and John Waluziak, joint owners of the Full Draw Film Tour. John is also the owner of W Design Company. These two guys are the engine that run the Full Draw Film Tour. Now, some of you may be asking, what is the Full Draw Film Tour? To quote the Gritty Scotsman, if you don't know what the tour is, you need to climb out from under the rock you've been living under and listen to this podcast. In this podcast, you'll learn all about the Full Draw Film Tour. You'll learn about John and Cody's vision behind it. As Cody said, our goal with the Full Draw Film Tour is to capture them, move them, and change them. You'll hear Cody and John's opinion on the three ingredients that make a good film based on their combined years of experience running the tour and literally observing nearly 100 different audiences, learning what they like, what captures them, what moves them, and what changes them. I first met Cody at the Full Draw Film School, where I met South Cox, Christy Titus, Jason Phelps, Born and Raised Outdoors, Joe Sanchez, Grady Rawls, Walt Ramage, and more. We were put into teams of 3, and I was grouped with Christy Titus and Josh Keller, who were a ton of fun. And these people inspired me. And for this reason and many more, I have a special affection for this tour and these guys. It's undeniable that the Full Draw Film Tour has had a huge impact on my life. So it was a pleasure to sit down and talk to John and Cody about the tour, to hear about the money they've raised for charities like Hunt of a Lifetime and Wishes for Warriors, to hear how the tour has inspired people and changed lives. I still think the tour should have been called the Gritty Full Draw Film Tour, but whatever.
If you like the show, please go to our website at grittybowman.com and subscribe to this podcast and tell your mates and pals about us. Do us a favour and please take a moment to leave us a rating or a review on iTunes or on our YouTube channel. Send your questions and podcast ideas to grittybowman@gmail.com. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can see the video version of this podcast on our website at www.grittybowman.com.
I'm Brian Call, and I'm your host. Mark Brownlee, the Gritty Scotsman, is my co-host. And without further ado, here is today's podcast.
Getting a little bit of wind. Hey, at least you don't have that banjo band in the background on this one.
Dude, that added a lot of ambiance to the podcast.
Yeah. You have like this sweet, sexy voice that just comes out on the podcast all of a sudden. Where did that come from?
This isn't my usual voice, but it just feels good speaking to the radio. Like, dude, Ty has a voice, man. What did Winnebago Man or something like?
Yeah.
It's impressive. So, all right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowman podcast. We are out here in Hoodoo, Oregon at the Northwest Mountain Challenge.
Lake 2?
Lake 2, yeah. We did some podcasts up in Idaho at the Tamarack Chute. And today we came down here to beautiful Oregon, which is a lot closer than Idaho for me. So it was a nice little change. We're not going to talk about how the shoot went today. We're just going to focus on how well it went in Idaho, which was very well. I beat Anthony. John and I shot together.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I killed it.
You guys can rub it in that I wasn't there. I know.
Well,
yeah, Cody had to go and have a kid, right?
Yeah.
it was.
Well, we were in that waiting mode, so the due date was the 27th, and I think if I remember right, Tamarack was like 24th, 25th, 26th, or 25th, 26th.
I really can't remember. But yeah.
Long story short,
It's a good thing he didn't show up because he would have beat us in the diving contest off of the dock into the lake because Cody is pretty long. So
Yeah.
Keep telling all your stories.
Well,
I was on the couch hanging out with the wife.
It was pretty sweet. So we are here. It's a little windy, so we're going to, folks listening might get a little bit of that in the microphone. So, but I think we can talk over it. And then, so we are here. We got Mark Brownlee, Gritty Scotsman here.
Mark, how are you?
I'm fine.
You look good.
Thank you.
You getting ready for season?
Yeah, last weekend I was out in the middle of the woods and I found elk.
I was going to say you need to move the mic a little closer to your mouth, but no, you don't. You don't really need to.
No.
It's kind of loud. Okay. So we got Mark Brownlee, and here we are with, I don't even know where to start. We've got John Waluziak and Cody Kellum here from the Full Draw Film Tour. And I've got a lot of questions for you.
Excited to be here. Gritty.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Gritty crew.
I've been hearing all these podcasts. And it's like, I need to get – how can
Yeah,
I be
dude.
on this? Yeah.
I've been wanting to get you guys on for quite a long time.
Yeah, the Gritty Full Draw Film Tour was an excellent idea, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't.
Yeah, I'm going to let it go,
We'll come back to it later.
Mark and I have a gritty tip out there. People don't know that you consulted with us before the tour started, before its inception. And we really felt that the word gritty would have carried your tour to another level.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
probably. Yeah, we're lacking that, I think.
It's definitely been gritty the whole last 5 years, hasn't it? Not been gritty.
grind, I can say that.
Well, one of the questions I had for you, because, the Gritty Bowmen have a film in the Full Draw Film Tour, and I just want you to tell folks that it's awesome. Can you go ahead and do that?
I think that the people, by the votes, say that it's awesome.
The people love it.
It's been really rewarding.
It is a crowd-pleasing, top-notch. I mean, I think, we talked here on, on the whole film conception and, having the ingredients, 3 ingredients, and having comedy.
Yeah.
Relatability,
yes,
and some drama in it. And you get all 3 of that, and you get the priceless reaction of, I thwacked him. It's like,
dude, we are making a T-shirt out of that.
Yeah, I thwacked
Just
him.
for myself, I need one that says I thwacked him.
Yeah.
So.
We found, I think, really, all realistic, perception of what we're doing. I mean, just real and raw. If people can keep real and raw content, put that together and introduce that in a clean format, I think it's people can relate to it, and I think it's explosive. So
yeah,
that's what people can't find in a lot of places. So anytime that you can come up with that real and raw content, it's really dynamic, and the more people relate to it, the better it is. So,
well, tell us, for folks who don't know about the Full Draw Film Tour, talk about that. Tell us where, kind of how it started and where it is today. I mean, and don't drag on for 15 minutes. Just, get to it.
So I would say, basically, Full Draw Film Tour started kind of on the dream. We born and raised, we did a film premiere in Coos Bay. The girls put it on for us, and next thing you know, we had a couple hundred people show up at our first. We didn't know what we were doing or anything, and all of a sudden, watching bow hunting on the big screen was like night. I mean, it's going from watching on the computer to a TV, and then all of a sudden,
in
boom,
a theater.
Yeah, in a theater setting, and you getting people rowdy and laughing and cheering and hooping and hollering. It was like, yeah.
Well, just a chance to share that real and raw format of what we were just talking about. What you guys are experiencing out in the woods as a bunch of guys cutting their teeth into bow hunting. All of a sudden, put up on the big screen with surround sound and in front of your family and friends. Was pretty
so that was the
moving.
kickoff of it. So we started that. We did that test run. I think it was like 2009, 2010, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then next year, Full Draw Film Tour. We just did 3 cities locally here in Oregon.
Yeah,
and then 5 cities, then 7, and then
12
14 or
12.
12. Yeah, 12. And then last year we ended up doing 24 shows, and I think with everything going on this year, we got about 28 or so.
Yeah, we kind of found that sweet spot of still being able to keep our lives together, being on the road, doing a tour.
Mm-hmm.
Tour life is kind of a big deal. Trying to kind of spread it out, and trying to really let it make sense to the fan base. Let them we've kind of created each little stop that we've done. It's went from a small introductory attendance of like 150.
Mm-hmm.
We come back the next year and we see the same people, but they're bringing people.
Yep.
So the attendance doubles in some places like Bend and Boise, and some of them have been.
Yeah, Boise is 700 people this year, and you get 700 bow hunters in one place.
No way.
And the excitement level and everything else.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So yeah, I mean, basically, for people that have never been to the film tour, it's a bunch of short films on it. So we show typically 8 films. Like the last 2 years, we've had 8 films. Show those, and we break it up at intermission. Pretty cool thing. We've done raffle. So over the years, we've been doing Hunt of a Lifetime. We've raised over $50,000 for Hunt of a Lifetime in 4 years.
Wow.
Which has been just it's blown our socks off.
Right.
Well, we just create the opportunity. Our fan base, responds to that, and it's fun to see the things that people get involved in and promote and all
hearing the stories.
Kinds of neat things have happened.
I mean, it's pretty amazing. Is like we're with the fans, we're able to raise some money and send that off to Hunt of a Lifetime, and then hearing the stories of the kids' lives that we've impacted on that. And, the fans from Full Draw that, directly relate to that. It's just been amazing.
So give folks an idea of where you started to where you are. Like, how many cities did you take the tour to in the beginning? How many are you hitting this year?
Yeah, so the very first year we did 3 cities, and then it basically kept doubling every year. And this year we'll be up to 28 cities. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And actually 3 of them are like right here where it's an outdoor kind of setting up on the mountain where we got a, collective, group of bow hunters that get what we're doing. We're, a little bit of an outdoor experience. Corey Jacobson last year rips a bugle at the end of one of his seminars, and bam, we hit play some of the best featured exclusive films, that people appreciate. So right here on the mountain, and smelling the fresh air and being under the stars, it's kind of a neat thing.
The first time I came across the Full Draw Film Tour, I was a little late to the game, and Anthony had a buddy, for those who don't know, Anthony's my hunting pal, and good longtime friend. He had a friend who said, I had a film that was in the tour. You got to check it out. It was this tour. And so we watched the film, and I was really blown away. The film was awesome. And it was a lot different than the typical hunting TV show that I saw. More real, more story. For me, it really captured what hunting is really about. What I was seeing on TV really didn't focus on that much. And since then, I'm drawn to those movies.
You've gotten the itch to tell your story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was
the reason that we started making films out there. Is kind of like we just had Ty Stubblefield on with Born and Raised on one of our earlier podcasts. And he said there's the same reason you guys started, Cody, was you just didn't feel like the movies that were out there and the shows that were out there were capturing what hunting was really about.
Well, and a big thing, they didn't justify really what the sport is. So there's for someone that's a non-hunter or maybe not a bow hunter, they watch something on TV and they're just like, wow, yeah, and kind of leaves them unsatisfied. And it's like, if they experience what we get to experience in this high and low and this roller coaster of bow hunting and this love and passion that we have for the sport, if you can portray that in a film, that was the goal. I still don't think we did it, but I mean, it's it's been fun. I mean,
no, see that, but you did do that, and see from my perspective, right? The first time I went out with him hunting, right? So I was somewhat anti-hunting, right? Wife calls him, get him out of the house, go do this. I'm like, go hunting? What the heck? You're sending me hunting? Come on. But then he had me sitting in the trailer, and the first movies I watched were you guys.
Oh,
right? Okay. And I remember watching this. This is not what I've seen before. This is not what you see on the telly. These guys are real. They're normal. They're humans, right? And then going out with them, and then I get to see the whole other side of hunting, and then you get the whole family thing like we got here. Everybody's kids are here. I really, really think that if people got a look at what I've seen, you could change a lot of people's minds and their views towards hunting.
You bet.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Oh, in a very positive way.
Yes.
Yeah. My oldest son's a vegetarian. Now he's going to eat elk meat.
Perfect.
Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I'm a real deep thinker. And so I've been wondering, I've seen this, okay, where I said this on well, maybe I haven't, but I was listening to another podcast a while ago. I'm kind of a podcast junkie, and I was listening to this guy. I was listening to Travis T. Turner was on the podcast, and he was saying there was like 350 hunting TV shows on air right now, and all those 350 shows are all competing for the same sponsorship dollars. You know, like you got your Hoyt and your Spot Hog. You know, all these different companies out there, and those guys support what you're doing. These companies, you know, they got to spread that across those 350, right? So each of those guys are competing for those dollars. And I think kind of what happens is we end up as an industry kind of focusing on promoting or saying, you know, look at this product I used because it's really helpful, and they're paying for the show, right? You have this desire to go, look at this. This is what I'm using, and it's awesome. It's really helping. And instead, you know, and the alternative to that to me is out there really saying, I'm hunting because of conservation, or I'm hunting because I want food for the table, or I'm hunting because I just love it and my buddies are out there with me. And so the message, I think, sometimes gets lost in midst of dollars in business.
I mean, I think in anything it gets over commercialized. Yeah. Tourism, you know, I mean, but definitely I think that, you know, the TV world has made the advances in some of the filmmaking suffer, you know, just based on deadlines. I mean, my own experience doing a TV show, it was brutal. I mean, deadlines and sponsors, you know, and making sure everything's met across the board, and creativity, that went to the back burner. It's like, we got a deadline this Friday, right. You know, it's Thursday at 3 a.m, and we're like, yeah, right, yeah. Exactly. So, you know, I mean, but I think that's what really excites me with the film tour is like working with guys that have a passion for it, independent. They may have some sponsors, and they, you know, and that whole deal. But at the bottom line, I mean, it's moving films that are, you know, our goal with the Full Draw Film Tours, when someone walks in the theater, is to capture them while they watch the movies, move them, and at the end, when they walk out at the end of the night, is to change them. So I mean that's capture them, move them, change them. So when they come in,
that's awesome. By the way, that whole concept is awesome because it's really about getting people to think differently than they did when they walked in the door. Yeah. Getting them to have different.
We really thought that, you know, when we came up with that, it was like, if we can't accomplish this, we do nothing here.
Right.
We don't bring anything to the table.
If it's straight entertainment, which I love, but it doesn't change people.
Yes.
Then it was a fun time, but there's not as much lasting meaning.
Yeah.
Well, you just gave me an example earlier on about somebody that changed and
today Ty was sitting there talking to him, and they were talking about Born and Raised, and then they said Full Draw Film Tour, and Ty's like, well, yeah, that's what John and Cody do here, and he's like, I just want to let you know how much you changed my life. And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, last year I got drugged to the film tour. You know, I rifle hunt. I was like, you know, it's hunting. We'll check it out. It's probably going to be fun. He goes out of there the next week, buys a bow hunts last year. Here's a bull bugle, and he's just like life-changing. And then he's like, my wife's got a bow now. My kids have a bow. He's like, it's just, we live, breathe, eat bow hunting now. And he's like, that's all because of you. And I was like, wow, that's just,
that's awesome.
It's cool. I mean, to hear those kind of stories.
That changes us here on this end. I mean, we just get blown away by stories like that.
That's how I feel, you know, like Mark, I drag him up there and he's hooked. I mean, just addicted.
That's screaming.
I'll tell you what, though.
Screaming though.
What's cool is when you see like 120 kids come up into the Boise show, up on stage. They all line up single file. We all give them a ticket. Hoyt gets what we're doing. They give them, you know, a chance to win a Hoyt Ruckus bow at all of our shows. But really, it's like we've seen, like he said, you know, ladies, kids get involved. It's a family event.
Yep. Kids
come, and it's a big deal. It's
our kids have been, you know, we've been significantly influenced by you guys. I went to the Full Draw Film School. I had never been to the tour before I went to the school. I didn't really know much about it. I started seeing it online. As soon as I found it, I was like, this is cool. And I saw Cody was involved, and I had always been a fan of Born and Raised Outdoors, just the authenticity there. And when I went to the film school, I called Cody up, and I was like, hey, I kind of want to go to your school. Is that cool? You know, Cody's like,
Please let me in. Please let me in.
Yeah, right. And
Can I bring a foreigner with me?
so
A Spaniard?
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So I started, getting all excited, and then Cody was like, yeah, you need to come. You'll meet great people. You'll learn a lot. I went. We were like, it totally changed. I mean, from
Your
that
sleep
day
habits,
on,
because you got like 2 hours the whole weekend.
that was brutal.
That was pretty brutal, yeah.
But leaving there, that started something that would never have started, really, not without that that I don't know. That
It was more of like not just a spark, but a bonfire, I think. Like on the outside looking in, watching you from going into that school where, kind of, I mean, not only your skill set was top notch, but then the drive coming out of that school, knowing what you could. I mean, it was just
exciting.
Like, yeah, but you know what? You know what made you who you are today, and it's not just going to that school. It was the other people that came to that school.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Who was there?
So
that you remember?
So I met South Cox, and South was someone I had followed for a long time, and I got to know him, and I was really impressed. Like, the people that I met there, before I go through the whole list, they were people I had been following and watching for a long time and been interested in. But
next thing you know, you're doing the school with them.
Right.
Wow. Right?
And so I meet South, I meet Christy Titus. She's in the group with me. I meet all the born and raised guys, and then Mark.
Okay, because I was like,
Mark, be careful. Don't.
Well,
I
remember when you guys came in and were like, well, we got a team of 3, and I was like, well, here's the deal. We're going to break that up. Just like,
right, which put me in panic mode because I've never gone hunting in my entire life, and he's going to put me off with these other people hunting, and I'm like, you got to be joking me, man. No.
And filming. Like, he'd never done filming, but he really hadn't hunted either.
I'd never hunted. Right, so I was in the middle of a whole new experience. But then that's the thing, though. Like, these guys come walking in the house, and I was just gobsmacked. I'm like, that's the guys I watched on the movies. That's bloody born and raised. Look. I'm Brian is born and raised, and he's looking at me. And then the thing was, this is what got me. They come right up to me. Hi, how you doing? Well, bloody hell, they are normal. They're just normal people.
Well, and it was fun just to, like, the passion in that building, in that house we were in. Everybody there was just hardcore into the outdoors and filmmaking and hunting and sharing a message that was a lot deeper than just hunting is fun. And that message, it lit a fire. And leaving there, and then taking the tools and the new skills we learned there and going out and making film impacted us. And back to what you were saying, John, earlier, my daughters, are shooting bows.
Yeah.
And my wife's getting a bow here soon. Bryce's kids all have bows now. My brother-in-law, Travis, they all have bows, and they're all shooting, and just even the wee little ones are all shooting too. And it's,
can you do that again, but a little bit stronger?
The wee little ones, I'm no like accent.
No, but see, here's the thing. 2 days ago, I'm in Cabela's, and I bought my son, my 7-year-old Angus, a release. Okay? Now, I'm the son of a bricklayer, right? I was a bricklayer. I could have killed something with a brick, but I couldn't have killed something with a bow. Now my son and then my daughter Sadie, they want to go bow hunting. So it's a little bit of time, but I mean, it's seriously changing people's lives.
A little bit of
time, And then I'm turning around and people are, do you hunt? Yeah, I hunt. And then it's brilliant.
Well, I think the thing that attracts most people is the determination, the passion in it. It's a disciplined format that not many people are used to really applying to their life anymore. So you apply, some strategic, a focus on something that's precision based, and people are talented doing it over here, and it's attractive over here, and what you can do with that, and the dynamics of the value of friendship and relationship that goes into that is huge. So I mean, I think it impacts a lot of people on a number of different levels, and whether that's for compound shooters or whether that's for traditional shooters. both Cody and I have been, we've had a chance to be blessed here in the last few years of just traditional hunting, getting involved with South Cox. I was actually introduced to traditional hunting quite a few years ago, and I did it for like 6-7 years, and I got back in the compound. And it doesn't really matter. It's just it's the format of shooting arrows and sticks and strings and
absolutely
men and women on a mission, applying it to your life, and in the format that it is. I mean, we've gotten a lot out of it.
Well, I think the one thing to touch on for us in the tour, it's not about us at all, but the people that we've met along the way.
Oh man,
life-changing. I mean, honest, like every show seems like we walk out of there, John and I start talking about what happens. We each get goosebumps because it's like total God moment with this guy and how this happened. And I mean, some of the stuff that's happened along the way, indescribable. I mean, you tell the story and you're like,
So let me ask you this. We've talked about it a little bit, Cody, but what makes the Full Draw Film Tour different from other film tours? Because there's other hunting film tours out there.
we don't
I mean,
focus on.
Our biggest thing is it's like a live event. We don't just come in, press play, people watch the movie, and then leave. Like, we have fun at it. We, get up, MC, get the crowd involved. I think the passion behind what we're, the energy that we put into it, the people get that. And I think that's, really makes a difference. And, I haven't been to some others, but, I've had people talk about it, and I think that's really, the thing that's
I think there's community around the Full Draw Film Tour in a way that there isn't in some others.
Bow hunting in general,
you have filmmakers and these new young guys, I say young guys, but then next thing you got older gentlemen that are picking up cameras and I've never been interested in electronics or camera gear. And now camera gear is so user-friendly. They can actually film, edit it, and then produce a quality film and tell a story about all the years past that they've wanted to, but never have had the time or the talent to do so. But now you see these young guys doing it, and Cody and I have always looked at the Full Draw Film Tour as we are creating a platform for a young filmmaker to get recognized. To they have to work for something. They actually have to go out. They have to not only hunt and try killing something, but some of the films, like we keep telling, not all your submissions have to be about killing something.
Right.
It just has to be about bow hunting or about archery or about arrows or whatever. So it could be any story. Like we were just talking about what's the name of those guys, that Dude Perfect?
Dude Perfect.
These guys are rad. If you look at some of their talent, they're shooting crazy trick shots, and it's like, how do those guys do that? But they're having so much fun. We're still waiting for the submission to come in where it has nothing to do with hunting, and it has everything to do with some kind of a creative twist on bow hunting or shooting bows or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but and it's definitely morphed into something that, we started this, and it's got a life of its own. It got to the point, like this year, we had so many films. John and I looked at each other like, how are we going to pick these things?
How many do we have? 32?
No, they're 41 total. Okay. Yeah, 41 films. And it's like, how, and they're all some good stuff. And it was like, there's no way that we can just pick this. So what we did, we created a panel, 15 people that, we know within that weren't filmmakers there at the time, that they watched them blindly. We gave them notes, basically you vote on it. Here's and we get all those back. And that was the only way we could pick out the films, because it was like, it's too much.
Even then, they all vote, and it's still hard to get down to the end because it's like
different opinions.
Tiebreaker. Okay, send these out again, you guys. This is the only 3 you can vote on.
But at the end of the day, it's all real and raw content that people are producing that we're looking for that just fits our format. And then the other thing is finding that collection of diversity between different people's stories that still, deliver a fantastic message when people come to our show.
So real and raw contact, because, somebody might listen to this and they want to do a film, right? So what kind of things, more specifics, like, what's going to impress people when they're, if they make a film, what's going to impress the judges to get it in?
Well, I think, number one's being relatable. It's when someone comes in on the film, or the film is geared as a guy that's done it all, and he's this king of the world bow hunter, and when, you know, he's going on these crazy adventures that cost a lot of money, where you're like, wow, that was cool, but I'll never do that in my lifetime. That's probably not going to make, you know, make the cut. I mean, and it's, you know, like the case of your guys' film, you know, it was the story behind Anthony and his dad. You know, Anthony always visioned hunting about something, and his dad had another complete different vision. But at the end, they finally came to this meeting point in that road.
Anthony was so determined to kill. Dad, you got to kill something. You got to kill something. And his dad was more like,
hey, it's just to go have fun and spend time together.
Yeah,
son.
I'm here. For the experience.
So I mean, that obviously it's the reason why it's number one in the, you know, film tour kicking off the night, because it's just like, holy, when someone watches that, it catches their attention right now.
And then the opposite spectrum of another story would be, you know, Russ Myers and his son getting out and doing a backcountry. They hiked in. They did this hunt as his first elk hunt.
Yeah, and I mean, it was, you know, here's Russ is like, he's the Chuck Adams of bow hunting that you've never heard of. That guy's killed him with a stick bow, recurve, a self bow, compound, Oregonite. I mean, you name it, he's done it all. And here he's taken his son on his first elk hunt, and when he kills that, he loses his emotion. I mean, he cries. And it's just like,
can't keep it together.
Yeah,
but he doesn't even know how to express himself.
But I would say the underlying theme is relatability, because you know, everyone has got a hunting partner or a camp that's got the funny guy or the serious guy, or hunting with his dad, and you know, and you get that connection. And I think that's probably the number one.
Yeah, I think.
And the thing, you know, those two stories right there. We go to Boise, 700 people, like we said, close to in the audience. Both of those films show up on the big screen, and for them as filmmakers to see their screen up on the big screen, like for Anthony's dad to come to the show,
see that
with his family, see the fans respond and get emotional over, you know, what they accomplished there. I mean, he just achieved a whole lifetime of hunting right there, that he could have influenced everybody in the room,
right?
On a number of different levels.
We get emails and instant PMs and comments on Facebook after every single show, where guys call or just tell us, hey, you know, I was deeply moved by your film. My dad passed away, you know, and remind me of this, or I have not had that relationship with my father, and shame on me, and I'm going to change that from here on out.
Yeah.
And the same with, I haven't taken my son out. That's what I want. I want to have that relationship with my son. That's what life's really about. It's not about me working all the time. I'm going to change all that. And so when I hear those things, I think, you know, we did something right. Like, this film matters. And I've been saying this to the guys from the beginning, and we all agree. We want to make films that matter, you know. And you talk about films like how you they're not necessarily about hunting, really, but they're hunting.
Right.
And I got this film I've been working on for a long time, and it's about my wife and her cancer journey, you know. And I just did a lot of hunting, you know, while she was battling cancer, here and there. She's like, "Oh, get out of the house, you know, I'm fine this week. You know, I'm feeling pretty good. Go out, you know, between chemo appointments." And then, you know, I struggled even wanting to do anything, like being motivated to do anything. And I went through this whole thing, and there's a whole story there that I want to share.
That inner battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, and I've struggled, like, well, this story is not really about hunting. Yet, for me, hunting's not separate anymore from all my other life. It's my lifestyle. That's how we put food on the table. It's how we spend time in the outdoors. It's how we connect with nature and life and death. And being able to tell that story shows other people that, you know, I think it helps them connect with us to go, you know, these guys, maybe I don't hunt, but these guys are real people with real struggles, and they have real compassion and love in their life for family and the outdoors. And maybe hunting's not what I think it is in my mind. Maybe hunting's not this bad thing that I have in my mind. And then it makes them kind of think twice maybe about where they're coming from. So for me, there's one thing I've struggled with, and I want to tell that story and I want to share it, but I'm also, and I'm just in full candor, I'm a little afraid, right? Because sharing stuff like that is really personal. And sharing stuff like with Mark and Anthony and some of us hanging out together. In the very beginning, I told you, Cody, I've got this footage and I just edited this up and I'm too afraid to post it. What if people don't like it? What if people go, well, that was kind of stupid?
Yeah, it's sacred to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Will I connect with people?
I think that's where they're real. When I say real and raw, I mean the real. I mean, it's real to you as an individual.
It's scary, though. It's
absolutely.
really scary. It was scary, like going, okay, now, me and Mark, like, talking smack and hanging out or just having fun. What if I put that out there and people are like, those guys are a bunch of dorks. Why are they thinking? Why are they putting that out? Well, and that's
who cares.
That's what I come to.
Yep.
I went, you know what? These are stories special to us.
There it came
out.
Bollocks.
Those are stories special to us, right? And so we just, in my mind, we talked about. I was like, okay, we're gonna put films out that 10 years from now, 30 years from now, we're really proud of. It's our legacy that we leave behind. It's special to us, and all we can do is hope that it's going to be special to other people too. If it's not, it's okay.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's the biggest thing, I think. Like John said, that's the real and the raw, and
you can make $1 million productions, but if you don't change somebody and something that doesn't cost a dime, and it's all done with blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, that's the only thing that matters at the end of the month, the year. Your life.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still scary. It's not so scary anymore because now we've gotten a lot of positive feedback, people saying, we love what you're doing. And so it's exciting. Oh, we're going to share this and we're going to share that. But in the beginning, for those guys that are out there that are putting films and then putting themselves out there, all I can say is just be real, be honest, be who you are. People will like you. I mean, it's just, and the people who don't, like you said,
haters are going to hate.
Yeah.
I mean,
we actually started something new this year, and it was, kind of out of it's like we see all these submissions come in. We can only use 8 of them. And it's like, what are we going to do with the other filmmakers? Because they got great stories, and they got heart, they got real content. People can, it's good stuff. It's just, but at the end of the day, our format for a live event can only run 3 hours.
And we push the boundary on that as it is.
We do, So it's like, what do we do with these other films? So we came up with this On the Hunt on our website. Cody, go ahead. Explain that a little bit.
So, I mean, it's basically the opportunity to get other filmmakers plugged in. So it's FDFD On the Hunt, and it's guys that...
Full draw, full time.
Full draw, full time.
Well, that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, that's a little... I mean... We always kind of have something that unicorn out there that we're trying to. But no, with On the Hunt is to get these other filmmakers connected in with what we're doing. So when we come to their local town, their film's in the lineup for the night.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's neat. When we travel, we get to see when we're traveling that local talent right there. They just had their film on the screen. It's pretty neat to see that.
Yeah, and so. And having that where we can promote them on the website as well and get more exposure, because like I said, I think the biggest thing for mainstream hunting is finally, like, I honestly feel like the hipster in downtown Portland is thinking that hunting might be okay. I mean, it's like to the root. I mean, if they go back through their history and ancestry, it all was hunting gathering. I mean, there's no around that. So
you're here because you came from hunters.
But realizing that Donnie Vincent said it best. He's sad when he takes an animal. It's not just about killing. Like we're this vicious killer. And
absolutely.
It's, you're out there, and it's a challenge. But at the end of the day, you've got this pure organic protein that's non-GMO. I mean, you name it. It's like it's as natural as it gets.
That's what got me when I went out with him, and he shoots this big bull, and we're cutting it up, and I'm like, whoa. But then we get back 333 pounds of honest-to-goodness, truly organic meat. I mean,
and the best meat you've had.
And it was brilliant. And my kids now are, Daddy, you got any elk meat for us? So this season.
Real men bring home elk meat, but Mark's struggling.
Well, we're an organized society anymore, so we go to the store, we buy meat.
Yeah,
it's there. Everything's been streamlined. But 100 years ago, 200, 300, generations before us, they've done it in the format of going out and harvesting your own animal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's somewhat sacrificial. It doesn't come easy.
Mm-hmm.
Blood, sweat, and tears. There's hunters in the tribe that actually go out and produce food for their families. So I don't think that's ever gotten lost through our blood as Americans in this country.
I think there's a connection there because of, Stephen Ranillo talks about it in one of his books where he's like, civilization has been a wonderful thing. But with that has kind of come a disconnect with where our food comes from.
Steve is a real deal. I mean, he gets it, and in every single show, it's clear on what his message is.
Yeah.
He brings that to the table every time.
And I think things like that, it's funny because most hunting shows for a long time never talked about the aspect of eating the meat.
No,
they just
the last
covered.
shot of the deal was the guy holding the horns up, and the deer or whatever. And
that's what I saw.
That was credits roll, and it was like you didn't see the pack out, and like that's where the work begins,
right.
and like
now
the prideful part of hunting and taking care, quality care, and
for me, it was all about that. For me, as a person from the outside looking in, he goes off, whacks that animal, he takes them horns home. That's what he does. It wasn't he takes home all this meat and feeds his family a healthy meal.
Well, then I'm feeding Mark, elk steaks and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get me some of this," And then I bring home like 330 pounds of it, and he's like, "Really?" I gave him a couple steaks here and there, but.
Shoot, Cody broke out the elk sausage this morning for breakfast. You got elk steaks marinating tonight. We're gonna have on the grill.
We'll see how. Yeah, I've got roast.
Seriously, I struggle so bad. Like if I don't have a freezer full of meat, it's really tough. We've run down a couple of times, but for the last 10 years, it's been chock full of game meat animals that I harvested. And
we fish too. We got fresh coho in the RV. We're gonna cook up on the Traeger tonight.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyways,
total off on a tangent of the FDFD on the hunt, but that's what podcast's all about, right? It's
that's
like
right.
how many
Embrace
curveballs can we
it.
throw the
Embrace
listener? But I mean, so with FDFD on the hunt, it's trying to connect more people and encouraging, giving a platform for these filmmakers that don't have a TV show and realizing
they don't have the money to back them to
and really I think
recognized.
They can be more impactful not being on TV and having some of these short films online, and
they can build a fan base. They can tour the country in the Northwest and get as far
Well, I'll share my personal experience with some of this. So we put some films together. So the question is, are people going to like them and watch them? Well, yeah, they might, but at the same time, I'd love to shoot more, do more, tell more stories, but I need people to actually like what we're doing and develop a fan base.
You bet.
And when you do when I did our first film, one of the reasons I started the podcast, mostly altruistic, I wanted to sit down with a camera in front of people like you guys, in front of South and in front of, Aaron Snyder and in front of Corey Jacobson and Ty and everybody and say, hey, teach me stuff, right? And hang out like guys around a campfire, because I think these discussions that just come naturally are fascinating to me. And so I thought I want to do that. At the same time, I know that doing this for a group of people on a weekly basis eventually lets people know who we are.
Right.
Right. And gives us a platform to share other messages around our films. You combine that with our film and the film tour at the same time, and going around and people discovering us for the first time through your platform, and our podcast and our audience is like growing. It's doubling. I was telling you this the other day. It's doubling like every month,
Fantastic.
And so it's been.
That means you're doing something right.
Well, I don't know about that, but
that means you're doing something right. Whatever you're doing, Brian, just keep smiling. You got Mark here.
Yeah, I use up this foreigner. I mean, every chance I get. But
I earned my green card.
Seriously, just having fun and sharing that message, though. But having your platform out there has been a huge boost for people. They discover us, and then they go to because everyone can access YouTube, which is pretty cool. Everyone can put stuff out in the public domain now, but getting the word out is a lot harder. Getting people to like discover you necessarily, because they get so many like, check this video, check this video, check this video, or content all the time. So unless they really have a reason to, they kind of just ignore that post, right? Or that message that's out there. And when they see the film and the tour, they're like, you know what? I'm going to check these Gritty Bowmen out when I get home, because this was a good film.
Yeah.
I like this. And
But it's that raw and emotion stuff that you talk about, right? That's what gets them, right?
Oh no, I mean, you can see it. I mean, there's, across the board when you look at. I mean, we do kind of a fun thing where people get a vote. So we can, we're gonna have a cool prize for the end of the year for Film of the Year. And,
Relatable content.
yeah, and watching the votes come in, there's some films that I've seen that in years past that may not be relatable. They're the prettiest thing out there, but at the end of the day, the fans weren't voting for it, and it's like that's where I said, when you have those three ingredients, I think that's the key for people to really respond to it and vote.
Well, one thing that we found is it's interesting because when we post stuff, humor just connects everyone, even people who aren't really into your message, like non-hunters and stuff.
Yeah,
when we do something funny, we have all these non-hunting friends that are like, we love that. That was awesome, dude. Do another one. And
that's what's going to open up doors for people to take people like me the way I would.
Absolutely.
And to change them, because then people will go, wait a minute, they're just no whacking off the horns and taking them home. These guys, families, kids, their belief systems. This is a way of life, And then they get that feeling, they get that respect, and it's going to change minds. I mean,
yeah,
we could swing it the other way.
It's been difficult though, because no one understands what Mark's saying when he talks, and so we're working through it though. I mean, I'll have to probably voice dub in,
and you cut out subtitles apparently. So
well, and here's the thing: is like,
truth
be told, we're all up here in jackets.
Seriously,
and the Scott's in shorts and a t-shirt right now. Just Brian
all the time.
Put a jacket on. It's just like I'm over here cold with a vest and everything else. And
I grew up where I didn't get over 70. So this is lovely weather.
It's true. It's a little bizarre. Like we'll go out hunting, and I'm like, he's got some 40-degree bag, and it's getting to 30. 20 degrees at night.
I lost all that insulation a little while ago.
True.
You've been on quite the little journey lately, haven't you?
Well, see, that's the thing when you're talking about what the thing is, and I'm sitting here going, oh, you're going to tell a story about how you were this fat bastard, 240 pounds. You're on all these medications, and you got pictures up at tree sling. You're sitting there, you look like a baby stuck in a thing, and then, you're going to go along, and then you're going to eventually be able to get an elk. It'll just be that one. Is anybody going to want to watch that,
Yeah.
It's quite the story,
but
quite the journey.
But see, that's the thing of that film skill. You know why I had the courage to do it? Christy Titus come up to me and Josh, and they come up to me off the side, and they said, listen to me, you need to tell your story. You need to tell this whole journey you're going through, because it could do something for hunting. And I remember I just shook me to my core.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stuff like that blows people's socks off.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Something that's been like insane this year that's just knocked our socks off. So we've got some guys called Team Full Draw that's been helping us out,
which are a blast.
Yeah,
these guys are a blast.
They are. Yeah.
In fact, I really wanted them on the podcast and not you guys, but we settled.
Podcast number 2.
Yeah,
this one
right.
Yeah, because we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's do this, and then the next one has a follow up. Those
Good.
guys are fantastic.
We had a little snafu with the podcast here, so we took a break, and now we're back online. We were just talking about the tour this year, and one thing that stood out to me at Tamarack when we were down there was, Cody, you weren't there.
Rub it in again.
You weren't there.
Salt in the wound.
So I had the opportunity to spend some time with the rest of the crew. And I got to know Wes because he came and he shot with us and stuff.
Team Full Draw. Yeah, one of the guys in
Team Full Draw. I cannot say enough good things about those guys. We had a blast swimming in the lake and hanging out with them, and they're just fun. And Wes blows my mind. He has some serious cojones. Like, he is willing to go out on the limb in front of the crowds and go crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't have he doesn't worry about what people think. You know what I mean? He's just real and raw. He's just the personality that he brings to the table for the team. It goes, I wouldn't say above and beyond. Each of the players on the team kind of have different characteristics. But as a team, like Cody and I, we've a number of different times have talked about, how did these guys land in our laps? I mean, we did a little bit of homework on them, but for the most part, over the last 3, 4, or 5 months of putting these guys in line with what we're doing, it hasn't really been hard. It's been an easy task.
No, and the whole dynamic of the group kind of changed where it's been, so rewarding. Getting to know these guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Now go through them.
Yeah. So,
Jason, I was like, who's Jason? Because Cody came back from the film school.
We met Jason.
I missed the film school, and he was
AKA Joe Sanchez.
Joe Sanchez.
Joe Sanchez.
He was at the same.
All
film
I
school
know
that you
was
were at,
his
Brian.
truck was crazy pimped out, like some insane level. I was like, "Who is the guy in that truck?" And then, like the next month, he had like another truck. And then he was like showing me all the trucks through the years that he had. I was like,
he takes trucks
whoa.
so serious that his little 1.5-year-old, what's his name?
Dodge.
No way.
And he looks, I'm telling you, it's a spitting image of Joe. It just,
Just
in
a
a small
mini-me,
little format. Yeah.
Needless to say, he's not a Ford fan.
Right. It's been a Dodge since I can remember, which is what I drive, which when real men drive.
But on a serious
Toyota,
note,
what?
Yeah. But on a serious note, so I actually missed that film school. I was in Moses Lake, Washington. Went to a traditional shoot with my boys. Something that we've been doing for years. I've had them shoot. See, they're 10 and 12 now, but since they were 3, I've had them shooting traditional recurves, and now they're at the age where we can go out on a shoot, have fun, Moses Lake. So I missed the school, and it was a dynamic school where we said, South Cox, the Born and Raised crew, Christy Titus, all these great people came. The Gritty Bowman crew, Anthony, Mark. You guys were all there. And all of a sudden there was this kid in the mix, and it was like, who is he? And I asked Cody, I'm like, because I did my homework when I got back. I want to know who came.
Right.
I want to know who are these people. And I said, well, who's this Joe Sanchez?
Dude.
And Cody's like, I don't know. He really didn't say much. He was quiet.
Like
he was quiet, but he was one cool cat.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like on the couch, and you were like, so Joe, what do you do? I do stuff, and just, I'm awesome, cool, It's
But,
like cool.
yeah.
I was like,
Cold
this
as
guy
ice.
just, he's just
Cold
like,
as ice.
he is just,
So that's really what kind
Cool.
of started it. Like, so we met him and then started talking to him and got to know him a little bit.
yeah,
well,
but I was
immediately we clicked because he was like, "What's that camera, dude?" And we were talking, and we were both clueless to a large degree on how these. We both bought like new cameras and didn't know how they work, and so we were like, "Sweet, you don't know, I don't know. This is awesome. We'll figure it out."
Well, I get back from my trip, and I'm like, so Cody, who's this Joe Sanchez? He's like, well, I don't know. He was kind of quiet at the school. I said, well, dude, he's got like 8,000 followers on Instagram.
No, I think it's 20, isn't it?
No, it was at the time.
Oh.
At the time. But, 8,500 followers on Instagram was a big deal,
Yeah,
a year
and a
ago
half
when you
ago.
guys did that school. So he's like, I don't know. So anyways, we got a hold of him and started chit-chatting with him. And this is about the time that we were thinking about.
So
But
his theory is he was the first bow hunter on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I just kept seeing makeup photos, and, all these, and then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, there's another hunter on there. But he's like, for weeks he had Instagram and never saw a hunting picture or anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is about the time Walt Ramage, who was a partner of ours, true brother. He had to step out of the Full Draw Film Tour due to having twin babies at like 40 years old. Him and his wife decided, hey, they wanted to have a couple chicklets.
And he has got his arms full right now.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because he's so wrapped up in, he's a commercial real estate broker, very successful individual, and to do this hobby over here at the Full Draw Film Tour, which kind of sucks a lot of hobby time.
Right.
And then he hunts and he takes that serious. It's I wouldn't say it's too much. It's just, it's somewhat sacrificial to do this over here when you have these important things here,
Right.
raising kids, and they're such good people. It was for both Cody and I, it was hard to see him step back, but it was understandable too, just to know the priorities that he has in his life to take that direction. But for Cody and I to look at each other and say, well, we can't do this ourselves. We got to take advantage of some of these kids that have the same drive and passion and energy that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start putting together a team.
Yeah, so Joe helped us out last year. The Olympia Portland show was the last couple shows, and he helped out. And then I still remember meeting Wes. We were in Flagstaff, Arizona, and John's like, yeah, Wes is going to come down and help us out. And he's known Wes for a long time. And okay, here comes this kid that flew from Mississippi. Was he in Mississippi? Is that what? Alabama? No, he was in Alabama.
Yeah, but his dad's a contractor, okay? But he got a job out of Mississippi doing a project with his dad, just word of mouth. They flew down there to build a custom home because that's what their forte is, building custom homes.
So this kid,
he bonsais out from Mississippi.
I'm standing outside the theater getting stuff ready for the show in Flagstaff, and this taxi pulls up, and there's this kid in jeans and this white T-shirt,
Goldilocks curly hair,
just this
mullet.
beautiful mullet,
strutting down the sidewalk.
He comes, he's like, "You got any deodorant?" I'm pitted out like that. I'm Cody. He's like, "Yeah, wet, yeah, yeah." He's like, "I stink so bad."
And you know what? He did.
So that's how I met Wes, and then it's just kind of grown into. It's truly life-changing. I mean, for me, and having these guys involved in what we're doing, it's fun. And
okay, so the team full draw, we got Morgan Gregory. He actually works for W Design Company, which is a business that I do that parallels Full Draw Film Tour. We have Brad Minzy out of Washington. This is a kid that we found through the online social media. This kid puts posts up, and you read his posts, and they challenge you to be a better person.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, as an individual, he doesn't brag. He doesn't promote himself. He just promotes life, good qualities, strong character, and bow hunting, which is what we're all about. Yeah. We're like, let's look at this kid. He might be an option. So we did, and he's helped us with a few projects, a few of our shows. Zach Henderson is another one of those individuals. The thing that each one of these guys have is a strong work ethic. They get that, hey, you work hard, and there's rewards at the end of it. You know what I mean? And Cody and I, we look at each other all the time, and we were like, how do we end up with these guys? We don't know. They just kind of fell in our lap, but we're so blessed and fortunate to be able to have a team like this that that's all on the same page, which is hard to find in a day like this. Where
team, like you said, it's not like an individual. I mean, they're all about the team and what we're doing, and we go forward as a group. And and it's encouraging to see. I think in society anymore, especially in the younger, they want this instant gratification. I mean, they're on their phone, and it's like everything's instant in their life, so they don't understand the groundwork, legwork that happens to have something. And these guys know that the foundation that you build today is going to lead you to wherever down the road, and it's refreshing to see that. Really,
yeah, you bet. And each of them have a little bit of fortunate, flexible schedule.
Yeah,
some of them work for their dad, some of them work for a power company where they work hard, and then they can play hard over here. So they're able to get plugged into what we're doing and help out on a number of different levels, whether that's putting on a show, or whether that's helping out with social media type content, or doing product reviews, or different things. And they all love running around with cameras. I mean, they're filmmaker or driven.
Yeah.
They got goals that they have ahead of them that they're trying to reach and meet. So
they're just a blast. I mean, I had a great time shooting with Wes, talking smack, having a little.
Yeah, he's definitely the wild card of the bunch. I mean, in a good way, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and swimming, we had a little race. I still feel like Wes cheated.
I heard about that.
Dude, I lost a freaking race.
Meet around the buoy.
Yeah, it was like we swim to the buoy, and first to the buoy wins. No, Wes was like, we go around the buoy. And I'm like, there's going to be a collision. And he's like,
well, yeah. That's the point. Right?
And I was like, fine, I'll collide.
Right.
Dude. somehow I got the raw end of that collision. And he beat me back to the dock, and I lost. But it's okay. I outshot him. So I feel better about it.
He says that just straight face.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, he beat me in the water. I beat him with the arrow. It's cool. You listening to this, Wes?
No, he's not around. He's probably talking to a girl over there or something.
Well, the first time I saw Wes, there was a pink hat.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the
The
story?
story about the pink hat. So
Yeah.
some people saw a little bit of a small video post up online when it first got going. But let's back up a little bit, because we got to talk about this year at SHOT Show. Cody and I, we went there for a couple different projects. We go to some of the shows to promote, what we're doing, try to get people involved,
Absolutely.
sponsors, and not only that, but just relationship building and people that are out in the industry that we need to parallel what we're doing to support us, so that we can have
Leverage all those synergies and work.
absolutely, yeah, working
Relationships are key. I mean, not just like sponsor relationship, but just relationships amongst other people in the industry. And
You bet.
that's how we met you. It's like, yeah.
So we're at the SHOT Show, right? And there's the SHOT Show's great. It's like shooting, hunting, outdoor trade. Everything underneath that spectrum is there, and it's really mind blowing, because usually if you walk through that show, you can't cover the whole show. Just a matter of a few days. But anyways, this last year we saw wounded combat vets. We're talking amputees, guys that are paralyzed, just wounded vets that were there representing an organization called Wishes for Warriors. Well, we tried connecting with them at the show. We did reach out to some of the guys, and they grabbed us and they said, "Well, what are you guys doing?" We gave them a business card. This is what we're doing. Their eyes just got big at the idea of us doing a bow hunting film tour. Anyways, we explained to them, hey, we try to pick out a charity every year. For the last 4 years, we've supported Hunt of a Lifetime. Hunt of a Lifetime has been fantastic. We've created an opportunity for our fan base to get involved in something bigger than just bow hunting.
Yeah.
We've been able to raise how much money, Cody, in the last 4 years?
Just over 50,000, I think, is what it has been.
Yeah,
Nice.
and we didn't do that. I mean, the team, Full Draw, didn't do that. We just created the opportunity for that to happen, and the fan base responds to something, a bigger picture. You know what I mean? I think people get blessed and moved by that. So, we encourage our fans to keep supporting Hunt of a Lifetime. We love what a lot of the people that work every day to keep that going in a direction where these kids' needs get met, where they can get an opportunity to go out into the woods and have an outdoor adventure of some sort underneath their circumstances of health circumstances. So each of them are battling different types of unfortunate events in their life, and their families are going through these battles. But we've helped raise money, and then we get stories back every year on the impact that we've had to do that.
And then, I mean, really kind of like what we talked about, the impact that we had at SHOT Show. I mean, John and I both are big, supporter of vets. I mean, it's a, neither one of us we're in the service, but knowing that those guys sacrificed to sign up for that, for our freedom and, and everything that goes in it. When we saw that these guys were struggling with life and, after they went and did it for us and for our safety, it was like, how can we give back?
Well, you were saying, John, earlier, these are young men. They join the military. They go overseas, and they see some things.
Most young guys that sign up for the Corps or sign up for the military. Well, in the last few years, they've been shipped overseas to fight in Iraq or Afghanistan, and I had a good friend of mine in high school that never came back the same.
Yeah.
In fact, I've had 3 or 4 that have come back. One went down in a helicopter crash, and he's still alive, but he's not. He's got mental. He's not there. His wife takes care of him, so he's These guys come back with a different story, all of them.
Right.
And some of them come back, they have their legs and arms and everything, but what they've seen over there, they've been scarred for life.
Yeah.
And when they come home to a community or society that can't relate to them, because they don't know what they had to go through over there.
Yeah.
So it really was an eye opener for us at SHOT Show to connect with these guys and be like, wow, what can we do? Well, we have to drop this over here, but yet we've trained our fan base to support this. Now let's just switch gears and now let's just support this. And it's been really neat. So this year we hit the ground running. In May this year, we connected with Brian Marshall with Wishes for Warriors. He's a guy out of California. For a year, he tried putting together a plan that's a little bit different than Wishes or Wounded Warriors. Mm-hmm. And there's quite a few different vet organizations that for supporting vets. He wanted to try and create something that was for dollar, 100% supports Wishes for Warriors so that they can get these guys off the couch. A lot of these guys are sitting on the couch after rehab, coming from, each of them have different stories.
Yeah.
But they're just down in the blues. I mean, they can't relate to their friends anymore. They each have their own story. They have no ambition. They can't get a job. They don't have a whole lot of people that they can relate to.
Right.
So
it's so different. Like, I think it's hard for people to imagine. You go to this other country, you fight it's life and death every day. You may or may not make it back. You kill people. I mean, that's what you do. People try to kill you, and you're there doing it, battling it day after day, and some catastrophic injury or other event happens, or you lose your brothers, because you are like brothers at that point. I mean, there's a bond, I think, that comes from life and death every day and battling for your country. And when they come back from that, I don't think we can relate to them. They've been in a different world, and they come back, and we're like, hey, let's go to the movies, and it doesn't work. There's a transition that has to take place, some healing and some changing, and they're out there like hard as nails too, and here they are doing maybe even things that just don't seem to make sense anymore.
Yeah.
Or they come back to a world of people that maybe aren't dialed into the whole battle that's going on, and it kind of sickens them to be here and see the lack of interest in veterans in general.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got a sting. And so
absolutely.
I think this whole thing is absolutely, I saw the trailer when I go to the film tour of Wishes for Warriors, and it's deeply moving. Mm-hmm. You can't watch that and not
what do you do? What do we?
Well, so my dad and my brother, they were both in the military. My dad served in Vietnam. Anyways, I regret every day that I never served for my country. Instead, I had other goals, what I mean, and I went down that road. But I can't go back and, but for the individuals that did sign up and that did go over, now we have an opportunity, Cody and I, to, recognize them for who they are, the sacrifice that they've made, and to build them up now that they're home and that they're living their life. Brian Marshall, who's the president of Wishes for Warriors, we actually drug him into our mix because people don't get what we're doing. Okay, so literally we said, hey, we're going to support your organization this year. Do you have a problem with that? We're going to raise money for you. I mean,
whether you like it or not, this is happening.
This is going to happen, right? So we did, and I've been trying to get him hooked up to come to one of our shows. What we just did in Salt Lake, and what we did, we just blew his socks off because he had a real face-to-face realization of what we're actually doing and what we can bring to the table to help him support these guys. So anyway, so let's go back to the pink hat, because the pink hat is what knocks it out of the park in the last 6 shows that we've done. So
Wild Card West.
You never know what these guys are going to come up with, right? So this kid hits me up. Okay, so this pink hat right here.
Yep.
It's the goofiest thing. So he says, John, I'm going to auction off this hat. I'm like, you're going to do what? He says,
we sold out, and so there's these girls just like, can I have your hat? Can I have your hat? And he's just like, so then,
So anyways,
only Wes can get away with wearing that pink hat, by the way, with his golden locks.
And my son, who looks up to him. And I don't know why, but anyways, he got all the team to sign the hat.
I just don't see that going well with Brownlee. It's just not going to go well on Brownlee. So the team signs the hat.
The team signs the hat. We're in Bend, all right? The evening of the show in Bend. And Bend has been a fantastic place. It's been a place that we've have a fan base that's grown, and these guys come back every year to the show.
Yeah.
Because they get what we're doing. We usually pack the house there. Wes says, I want to auction off the hat. So the kid gets up on stage, and he's helping MC with Zach Henderson. And anyways, the kid's rattling off auctioneer. Next thing you know, okay, pro auctioneer rattling off, and I'm like, man, he's not half that bad.
Oh,
actually.
he's good. I was like, did he do this in some other like career before this?
And it's tough. Like I've tried before.
I can't do it. $300 here, $300 here.
Yeah.
And, do I have $100? You know, I'm like,
He gets this lady. He gets a battle going. It goes up to $80, which isn't a whole lot, but hey, it's a big deal for like a pink hat that sells for $50.
dude, he could have got crickets.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, that's what I told him. I said, dude, really? Is this really? You think this is really gonna work? It's just gonna be like silence.
yeah.
So, anyways, lady, high bid, $80. She comes to the back of the show to pay us to help, for Wishes for Warriors. We basically take it in as a donation because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And she goes, hey, here, I don't want it. It's not about the pink cat. She said, here's $100, and I want you to take it to Boise and just pay it forward. So we were just like, wow, this is cool.
You know, it could have ended there. Really,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like.
Yep.
So I was like, well, she's got to go home with something. So I grabbed the 3 collections of the 1, 2, and 3 of our full draw discs and give them to her, which blew her socks off. And yeah, Wes took a picture, which I think maybe the gal, that maybe was what her true intentions was, is to get a picture with Wes. So we did. We loaded up the truck and we headed off to Boise the next day. And lo and behold, one of the filmmaker's wives, Russ Myers' wife, Carol, I believe.
I was there.
Yeah, fantastic lady. Anyways, she's wanted a pink hat. I was like, dear, we're sold out of them. But I will let you know when we get them back in stock. I'll ship you one. And anyways, then we go to do this auction up on stage following the raffle. Bidding war, true story. Guy stands up in the back. He just has his hand in the air. He's legit, serious face.
He is not losing.
He's
She
not
keeps
losing.
bidding.
She keeps bidding back and forth.
I was looking at. I was like, Anthony, dude, do you see this?
Yeah, it goes up to $365, and she says, all right, he can have the hat, John. I'll get another one from you, but I will donate $200. So it basically came in $565 for the pink hat in Boise. Cool thing was the guy come up on stage and says,
he was a vet.
He said, I'm a vet. And he said, I can't, commend you guys enough for what you guys are doing and just creating the opportunity for me and get involved and respond to this. And he says, it's not about the pink hat. He said, take it to the next show.
Oh, bloody hell. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
So we did. We a couple weeks later, we did our Denver run. We go to Idaho Falls. Okay, this is a community where we've never been to before. It's an introductory show. We get about 150 people that come to that show. And it's kind of like Eastern Oregon for us, where it's hardworking,
good, wholesome people.
Yeah, good down to earth. I don't want to say rednecks, but I mean these are people that are our kind of people, where they're people that we relate to as hardworking.
Some of my brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
I want to be a redneck someday.
Right. So a couple of people match like $250 or something like that. It goes back and forth. One guy says, "Oh, he can have it, but I'll match it," and then a couple other people said, "Well, we'll match $50." Anyways, $610 came in on this hat in Idaho Falls.
Idaho Falls.
Additional.
Yeah.
Additional.
You got to be kidding me.
And they said, "Pay it forward."
$610.
Yeah. So we go to, and the cool thing was Mountain Ops was there.
It just keeps getting higher.
Yeah, Jordan and Casey Harbison with Mountain Ops, they were there. They helped us do the raffle. They created the energy, and they got people to respond
They're
on the
just
pink
great.
hat.
Yeah,
Oh, they
and
are.
the guys from Hush that did the FDFD on the hunt.
Casey Levere, Eric Chesser.
Yeah, they're like
solid.
We're putting in $210 to that hat.
Yeah.
Pay it forward.
Well, we want to match what it is.
Like,
yeah, it was fantastic.
Salt Lake City comes.
Salt Lake City comes.
Crazy.
So in the meantime, in all this, we're sleeping out underneath the stars at night. We get the truck going down the road. We call it tour life, right? Where we're all loaded up. We're running down the road. We don't catch a motel room.
We pull into. I remember in Boise, we pull in and it's like 1:30 in the morning, and we're getting like pancakes at a restaurant, and these jokers roll in right after us and sit on the table. I'm like,
Well, I'm
Wow.
talking. So the other guy that we haven't really talked about is Mike Crawford, like the senior. You know, but this guy is solid of the earth. He's a filmmaker. He's been helping us out the last few years, and he joins in my place on this last loop. And I call up Mike, and I'm like, "How's it going?" He's like, "Well, I'm just watching those guys jump down to their underwear, and they're just about ready to take a bath in the lake." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, tour life." He's like, "We slept underneath the stars, and we saw water. We pulled off the side of the road, and they're bathing,
Lathered up."
For real, dude.
For real.
That's you're living out of your car.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a good time.
So
but
they make the journey down to Salt Lake City.
We do.
Yeah.
And when we get there, we got quite a few different unique people. And Salt Lake is a hub of quite a few different companies in the archery industry.
Absolutely.
It's Hoyt's backyard. Hoyt's right there. In fact,
There's
we got a
such
grand
an archery culture
Yes.
going on down
We got
there.
a grand tour right in the Hoyt production. We got walked through, shown all the magic where it all
They're
happens.
taking selfies out in front of the Hoyt plant. I'm like, I'm not. Like, you're killing me, guys. Like,
Anyways, Jeremy Eldridge there is awesome. He treats us like we're special. And we think just the opposite of them. We were pretty, privileged to be there and see that. But anyways, there's Camo Fire showed up, Black Ovis. There's
Awesome.
Ops guys again.
Yep.
Yeah, grab the mic.
the Hushing crew. Zach Griffith was there. A lot of filmmakers get involved when we come to that show. Core 4 showed up, which is fantastic. In some other companies like Easton, it's just like it's a hub of archery.
Yeah,
so
lots of support
to get them all in
for
one
the film
place.
tour.
Yeah,
That's sweet.
Anyways, we do our show. We knock everybody's socks off. It's a social event. They just soak it all up.
Yeah.
But the pink hat comes out. Mike Crawford gets up and we kick off the same thing. Yes, we do the raffle, but then the pink hat comes out. We did this auction thing, and we get up to about $150, $200, and we say, "Is anybody out there willing to match it?" And Jordan Harbison with Mountain Ops, he's emceeing kind of the raffle and stuff. And in the auction, he says, "How about Hoyt? Will you guys match it?" And Jeremy says, "Yeah, we'll match." Core 4 matched it. And Hushing Group, Mountain Ops, they all matched it. They said, "We'll match what the number is." Anyways, 2 guys battle it out up to $400. And finally, one guy says, "All right, I'm done." And he goes, "But I'll match it anyways." So 4 times 6 is $2,400 this pink hat brought in Salt Lake City.
Nice.
Holy.
Wow. That is just
Yes.
heartwarming.
Each place, people get involved because they see what we're trying to do with just supporting the wounded combat vets. The cool thing about it was Brian Marshall with Wishes for Warriors actually came to the Salt Lake show because I told him who was going to be there. And he's trying to make connections with the outdoor industry to support his organization. And these guys just knocked his socks off just at the response of supporting them and the opportunity that we're giving people to support them. It's been really neat. So it was like a huge eye-opener.
Yeah, so this hat's paid it forward, and grand total we're up to
$67.75
and running.
Because in the next night in Fort Collins it brought $1,600, and then in the next night in Denver it brought $1,100. And in those 2 shows, it was really unique that some of the people that responded actually had vets in their family.
Yeah.
And they really reached out because they really get what we're doing.
Man.
And here's the pink hat. We still have it in hand, and it's still being paid forward.
Yeah.
So we're off to Spokane, Missoula, and Bozeman this week. And we got Portland the week after. Some more shows. So it's this hat. I think we're getting $20,000 for this hat.
I don't know.
It's all from a blonde curly mullet. Right?
Well, and
I'll never speak bad about a mullet ever again in my life. That's brilliant.
Wes is here at the shoot here tonight.
Yeah.
We ought to get him on the mic. But anyways.
if we don't, I've got some video I'll plug in.
I tell you what, Cody and I, we do our job. We work hard every day hard at this to connect people, build relationships, take bow hunting to the next level, pass bow hunting on to the next generation. Matter of fact is, at the end of the day, the 2 of us love people. We love them for who they are, where they came from. Everybody has a different story. It's not just about bow hunting. We see other people in the industry like Cameron Haynes with, supporting Rick Carone.
Yep.
We see people like Fred Eichler help individuals, Skullbound TV, Jim Kinsey and Jana Waller.
Absolutely.
I can keep going on with the amount of people that just surround themselves with good people and see, people for who they are and just continue to, reach out, support them in whatever circumstance. And that's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, no, just build, that relationship standard. It's just, it's tough. And that's really for me, like the root of bow hunting. It's not, for me, it's not an individual sport. I like solo hunting and it's a good challenge and everything. But for me, like spending time in the fall with my brothers is like, that's what makes season, spending quality time in the outdoors with family and friends, and you get a bow in your hand and you get a take home protein, like
there's so much to it.
There is.
Oh,
yeah. And that's really, so if we can do that with the tour, just give people a taste to want to get out and do that.
Absolutely.
That's top.
And the cool thing about it, some of the things that Brian Marshall came up with Wishes for Warriors, hey, how can I get some of these combat vets involved in your tour? So we're looking at potential projects where we can maybe get some of these guys and helping us with our events or getting them plugged into, I don't know. We got to figure out ways that we can support these guys on a number of different levels. And I really encourage the fan base to reach out, if not through us in one way or another to make a difference in, a wounded combat vet's life. And also, like Hunt of a Lifetime, there's no reason why people can't keep supporting Hunt of a Lifetime.
Absolutely.
And, when you see a need, that's just like somebody knocking on your shoulder saying, hey, here's an opportunity to get involved or make a difference, because you got it good today. Maybe somebody over here hasn't. So I challenge all of our fans to pay it forward, just like this pink hat deal.
I totally get you, too, because, there's just so much reward that comes from just helping other people. And the tour encompasses that whole thing. You guys have been such a huge help to us, the Gritty Bowmen, and all of our friends and what we're trying to do. And it's a
two-way street, though. I get as much out of it as you do. Honestly.
Well, that's what happens, isn't it? That's what
I remember the first time that I was on the phone with Cody, and then we got to the school. Cody said this a number of times to me that the vision that they had with the school and with the Full Draw Film Tour was for everyone there to get there, learn new skills, be talented, but grow together, lift the entire industry, the entire bow hunting awareness, community up together. So he pulls me up a little and I try to pull him up a little and we bring each other up.
Power in numbers, right, John?
Absolutely. That's our new thing lately.
That's
power
so
numbers.
Different, though, than some of the other things I've experienced where, you're perceived as competition. And so you're trying to be, some people try to shut you out or keep you down. And so it was it's a really neat thing to be part of a group that gathers around its community and insulates it and helps it grow together as a group.
Cody and I have never looked at this as just like the two of us. We've looked at it as like partnerships with our filmmakers. Because without them, it's not possible for us to do this thing. We got our team players, the Team Full Draw, to get involved to actually help facilitate a strong message for, what our mission is, to capture people, to move them, and to change them, which we talked about earlier. But, connecting with our filmmakers, connecting with the fans, you know what I mean? It's endless. It never stops.
Yeah.
And the more that we can meet on the mountain to do things like this, take away from work, somewhat sacrificial. Some of us have family at home. I brought my family up here, so I'm excited that they're here.
I brought my little one that's a little over 3 weeks old. She's rocking it.
On a number of different levels. It's awesome to be able to connect with people, build relationships, and have the opportunity to do the things that we've accomplished so far is really been fun.
And being here, like Northwest Mountain Challenge, it's really rewarding because the shows, it's fast, it's busy. We get some time to connect, and a lot of them will spark off further conversations down the road with other people. But like here all weekend, it's like you're just surrounded. You're in the outdoors.
Yeah.
You're shooting your bow.
It's a special place.
You're hanging out with friends, future friends, meeting people. It's like...
Cody's wearing my favorite color here, Real Tree. What's their motto? family friends in the outdoors.
Right.
They've supported us for all 5 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
And because they see that bottom line, we're grassroots. They see who our reach is. They understand it. And Hoyt has fell into that. They see what we're doing. Vortex is another one. Those are our three, main title sponsors, and all the sponsors that we have underneath.
It's a partnership where they trust us to run around and carry the flag, not so much on shoving product and showing like this is the best, but like these people believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So it's fun.
Well, what's the full draw I got ahead of them? How many shows you got left, and what's coming up in the near few weeks that they can go to your website?
I think we got 6 shows lined up before the end of the year, right? We have Portland coming up next.
Yeah, Portland.
We'll be there.
We're all going to take a break for hunting, right? You're going to let me off?
Yeah, this little. I get a phone call, and South Cox is like, "Hey, you want to go to Nevada bow hunting with me this August?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have a newborn on July, so maybe." And I'm like, but when we were talking with John, John's like, "Yeah, let's do this." So they're going down to Nevada, Lucky's, in like, I don't know, 12, 14 days. And then these guys are crashing the party.
Photo bomb
here.
here.
Here we go.
Holy cow, this guy's long lost Josh from Alaska.
This is it. This is part of the team right here. So
Here we are with the
energy.
Yeah, so we've got these guys.
Full Draw Film Tour team.
Yeah.
We wondered where you guys were.
These guys
They put you to work, don't they?
These guys make magic.
You would believe it.
Blowing through the swag over there.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So, we've got season coming up. John and I are going to spend some time together in Idaho. Trent's coming over there to see if we can kill some bulls.
Each of these guys are doing something unique this year. You'll want to follow what they're doing.
Awesome.
They're all involved with. They got cameras running. They all got time that they've carved out in their life to actually put something together on their own time with some of their own friends, and also on a number of different levels. We all got different stuff going on. We don't sit still. We're always running. We're always gunning. We're always working with people that get what we're doing. Go ahead, Brian.
I really want to get all of them like mic'd up. At least get rid of Mark and pick up 3 of these guys.
Let's do a part two of this because a follow up would be fantastic. I want to hear these guys' stories with you.
Me too.
And I think the fans do too. I think they'd appreciate
They won't give me this BS you've been giving me. They'll give me this. They give me the truth. Give me the truth.
All I did, they just cracked the whip on us nonstop.
I love these guys. Each of them, they've brought a lot to the table, and we've got as much out of them as they have out of us. So it's been good stuff. We're really looking forward to next year. I say next year, 2016. We're already thinking about plans that we want to do. We got Full Draw full time coming up, which is going to be something unique. Cody, you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. So kind of seeing this podcast, South and I've been talking for a long time on it, and listening to you guys, it's so much fun just to talk to people and connect. So South and we're doing a podcast, Full Draw full time. Gonna get you guys on here. Yes. Get the gritty.
South is awesome.
South
that man is incredible.
That's one guy, I honestly, I remember reading articles when I was 10, 12
Same
years
here.
old.
He told you
Same here.
And I'm just like, this guy is awesome.
So who are a couple guys that we captured already in the podcast?
So we had Dwight Shue. We have
good stuff, right?
Steve Speck from EXO.
Yep.
We have Christy Titus talking about backcountry nutrition.
Yep.
We've got Cody Smith with Go Hunt.
Lonnie Lauber.
Lon Lauber.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Lon Lauber is another one, like the Chuck Adams.
So when is this going to be available?
You start talking about Alaska, he loses control on the mic. All right? It totally consumes him, brings him back into Alaska. He's got tons of stories. These guys,
Zach Bohe talking about Idaho and some over-the-counter opportunities. So we are in countdown, about 10 days from the launch.
So when you guys launch it, folks are going to start getting your podcast.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
That's awesome.
And we plan on getting all of our team involved in this. We're talking about doing some projects with filmmakers on a number of different levels. We'll be able to connect with our fan base, tell stories, different things that are happening through our podcast, and it'll be great. It's everything archery. It's arrows 365, full draw, full time.
It's a lifestyle and
Yeah.
talking about hunting and, talking about Western bow hunting. I mean,
Yeah. Totally. When I first started podcasts, I had friends that were like, you're going to run out of stuff to talk about. I'm like, no, I don't, dude. We sit around a fire and we talk endlessly. I've told the same elk killing story 1 million times.
Yeah.
It never gets old. And I'm like,
It gets
talking,
bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
shut up. No. Talking is talk. Like conversations like this, there's a natural flow. Things come out kind of naturally that you just don't get in other mediums. One of the things that I really like about the podcast, and that's been the most fun for us, is to be able to, on this platform, promote our friends, promote their ideas and what they're working on. And it just is a neat feeling to also bring other people that aren't aware of, like, for instance, that are following the podcast but aren't really dialed into the Full Draw Film Tour. They're going to hear this and they're going to dig into it a little bit, and now they're going to pick this up in a way that maybe they wouldn't have before. And those opportunities to share are just really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things we love our fans. We go to the show. Everybody thanks us for coming. It's like, if you guys didn't come, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But anyways, no. If our fans would just bring one person that has never experienced a Full Draw Film Tour at a show or a live event, if they can just bring one person, that would be huge for us, because we would have been able to connect with them. Our filmmakers would be able to connect with them, and that's
what we've done each time. We, first it's myself and one or two people, and then it's 10 people, and then it's 30 people, and
you bet.
It just has and like you said, if just one or two, they bring somebody new, there's that. It's such a moving
and you can
experience.
Take that, and then you can have that non-hunter exposed to something that's really the root and core of what it is, and then that non-hunters, and it's that snowball effect where we can.
Anything else we want to share real quick?
Since we ran out of time, we want to do this like 3 or 4 more times.
Yeah, we got more coming, right, Gritty? I mean, you guys, we're connected. We're paralleling each other. We got tons of more stories to share, both from your what you guys got going on your end, what we have going on our end. We have tons of fun stuff coming up.
So we're going to do this in Portland, August 8th, before the show.
Fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Yep. Let's do it. Yeah, I would like to, like I was saying earlier, this sort of medium, it's just like fun to talk to everybody and get to know people. And
I want to talk bow hunting.
Me too.
Film tour.
I wanted to ask you a lot of questions about, because you were conspicuously absent when we talked about who the best caller was in that conversation with Ty.
Well,
and who was the ice in the veins killer. You just weren't mentioned.
No, because I'm behind the camera.
I feel you, brother. I feel you.
Yeah.
Oh, the cameraman.
Yeah. I remember teaching Trevor how to call.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a ride in the Toyota, and they had this diaphragm call, and it him and Trent both dude, I have no idea. Yeah, I remember that, but yeah, he's taking a run with it, and Trent, I will say, is Iceman. It's like that. I pull my bow back, and
it's dead.
No, that's the reason I'm pulling my bow back, is to kill that bull.
Yeah,
and it's dead every time.
Yeah,
that's
pretty sweet.
Ty, his nickname is 3 Arrow. No, true story. It doesn't matter. Dude, he gets
Naked Man 3 Arrow?
Yeah, exactly. But he gets 3 arrows off before I can even knock a second arrow. It's just bonk, bonk, bonk. I smoked 2 of the times. One was in the tree.
That one in the tree is awesome.
A little premature.
I think I did hear Trent say something. Only Ty. Yeah. Only Ty would put an arrow here.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots more to talk about.
Absolutely.
Lots more. So,
Mark, you got one more thing to say? You got this. You got to say, come on, closing.
Anything, Mark?
In that Spanish voice.
You can tell people.
Spanish voice on mine. I better win some. I better win something of that drawing.
Yeah.
Or somebody's getting kicked in the bollocks. That's what's going to
You
happen.
should hear. There's a whole bunch of cuts I cannot share with you people
I
because
can only imagine.
Mark crosses a line that we are very, clean. We try to stay clean.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
yeah.
No, yeah.
Well, thanks for
And
having us.
Mark too.
No, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having us out to do this. This has
No,
been
we want
great.
to. We need to do this again.
The first
Yeah.
of many.
Yeah,
Yes,
we need to do
absolutely.
this again.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Keep
Thanks,
on,
guys.
keep on, keeping on.
All right.
awesome.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
See, now that's fun.
Oh yeah. We need a sound bite from you guys.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3. We are.
This is what happens when you try to plan something. It's better to just go by the fly of the seat of our pants. I'm telling you.
Here's
This is terrible.
We are Full Draw Film Tour.
And you are listening to
The Gritty Bowman.
Oh, no. It's got to be the Gritty Bowman.
Bowman.
Yeah. Bollocks.
All right, we got this. All right, we got it.
We are Full Draw Film Tour.
Oh, John. This guy dropping the ball. Did you drop the mic before you said anything?
All right. We are Full Draw Film Tour.
And we are listening to
The Gritty Bowman.
good stuff.
I really hope you enjoyed today's podcast and it's got you motivated to go and check out the film tour and see what it's all about. For a behind-the-scenes look at the Full Draw Film Tour, stay tuned for the Full Draw Film Tour Gritty Tip. And also, stay tuned for the trailer to the Gritty Bowman film, It's Not About the Horns.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Gritty Tips.
In this episode of the Gritty Tips, we want to encourage you to go see the Full Draw Film Tour. Mark, what is the Full Draw Film Tour?
If I have to explain, you are living under a rock. Get out. Full Draw Film Tour, indie films made by independent filmmakers like us
Yes.
about their passion for
Bow hunting. It's on all archery films, outdoor films, all archery hunting films by independent filmmakers. And the tour travels the United States, goes to different cities. There's a schedule on their website. You can go to fulldrawfilmtour.com and you can look at the schedule and find a theater near you, buy tickets, take your whole family, and go to the tour. It's a great family event. It's great for all the kids.
they can win stuff, can win a bow,
Yep.
all sorts of stuff.
Yep. And they get to go on stage. It's a great event for the kids. There's some great films in the film tour this year. In fact, we have a film in the tour, which we're quite happy about. We're honored to be in the tour and very excited to share our film on that big stage. There's other filmmakers in the tour, some foreign filmmakers,
Yeah.
including a Jose Castrasana.
Castrasana.
Yes. Sorry, Jose. His film is about archery mule deer hunting. He has a very he's got a strong accent like Mark. They talk exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Did you?
Spanish S, Scottish S. That's the only bloody same they've got.
That's right. You didn't know that there's a Scottish group in Spain?
Yes, running around with burritos underneath their kilts.
I think burritos are Mexican, aren't they?
Mexico, America, same bloody thing, right? Yeah.
Moving on. Another great. There's another film set in Australia by an Australian filmmaker who also talks exactly like Mark. Right, Mark?
Exactly like
Right.
me.
Look, he says mates. He says pals. Right? Mates
Right.
and pals. Just like Mark.
Right. That's because the English took all the British criminals and dropped them off in Australia, and that's how we got settled. They just happened to be Scottish and Irish criminals.
How do you think Australians really like to have that brought up? I mean, is that really true as well?
They're not worried about it. They're heavy drinkers. They're probably drinking right now. Just like Scottish people. They don't care.
Moving on. There's some excellent films in the film tour put together by some great hunters that are passionate about the outdoors, passionate about archery bow hunting. We highly encourage you to go see it. The film tour has been around for a few years now. It's grown every year. Every year the films get better and better. It's a great thing to support. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but the Full Draw Film Tour actually came before the inception of it. They consulted with us, the Gritty Bowmen, about what they should call the tour. We strongly suggested that they call it the Gritty Film Tour. Some
gritty full draw film tour, but
anything really with the word gritty in it.
Improved it,
but alas, they did not choose to include the word gritty, and so we're sort of stuck with just the Full Draw Film Tour, which works. It works. We're just gonna let that. It's the past. I am Brian Call.
I'm Mark Brownlee,
and that's our gritty tip.
Stay gritty. Hello and welcome to this week's episodes.
Nope.
Bugger ya! Hello and welcome to this episode of Gritty Bloody Trips. This episode. The Full Draw Film Tour is a bunch of films made by very gritty, bow hunting, inspiring filmmakers, kind of like Cannes Film Festival thing, but here in America, no over wherever Cannes is.
They opted for the Full Draw Film Tour, so
everybody makes mistakes.
Mark, do you want to say that you're foreign? You're from.
Hence, I should be able to say a Spanish name.
The guy has an accent. Jose has an accent. Sounds just like Mark. So,
an exact copy. So you all know there's many Scottish Spaniards in Spain. They're just in some little isolated mountain pocket. There's a lot of Scottish guys named Jose. You know? Come on. Bollocks. And it's a collection of indie filmmakers. Some of them are much better looking than other ones.
It's archery films, though, not foreign films.
But some of the
filmmakers.
Archery films are made by foreigners. That's a tongue twister right there, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Look up the Full Draw Film Tour site, and you can see promos of these films. You can see the promo of our film that's in it.
Yeah. Well, in fact, we will add our trailer to the end of this little tip of the week, and you can check out our film there.
That's right.
Hopefully, we see you at the Full Draw Film Tour.
That's right. It's the wife. You won't see me in our bloody film, but I was behind.
I can't understand what you're saying, Mark.
That's because we're in the middle of filming.
Thank you.
Well, had you texted me back, I might have known that information.
And now on film, my wife chewing me out on speakerphone. How we doing, love?
I've not shot my bull yet. No, that's true. I'm probably not the best hunter in the world, but that's okay. I enjoy being out there. I'm getting up in age, but I get around pretty good. But I'm probably not the best hunter in the world.
We've had a ton of hunts together. Mount Emily was the first time that he had drawn a really good tag and that I was there just to help. So that didn't turn out, it turned out great. We had a phenomenal hunt. We had so many elk encounters, you just couldn't even count them all. But my dad didn't get a bull. And that left a bad taste in my mouth. And it kind of left a bad taste in his mouth too, but more so because there were times that it was just, I made it too stressful for him for not killing a bull.
Do I feel more pressure for myself or from Anthony? Probably from Anthony.
Yeah, right when you started to drive, he was almost and he turned his head at me. I know, but I think you should have just finished your drive shot. Oh, that one hurts bad.
When I go out with my hunting partners or with my dad, my focus has shifted a lot more towards making the hunt successful in their minds. And so because of that, I need to tone down, or I've been working on toning down my inner drive to kill a bull or to kill an animal. Because I do know that there are other far more important things in life than hunting.
I thought about that a lot. I thought, oh gee, if I go to Utah, and I got people coming like Brian's gonna be there, and Brett's gonna be there, and Anthony's gonna be there, just all for me. I'm sure, we're gonna film it, and I think it's great doing all that, but, and then what if I blow the whole thing? What if I pass, or what if I miss the big shot, miss the big bull? Well, I guess that's the way it goes.